Good afternoon, guys. In the previous session, we saw about volume reduction, that is, how to reduce the volume of the wastewater that is generated in the industries. So, in this session, let's see about strength reduction, how to reduce the strength of the wastewater that is being generated in the industries. So, when we see any industries, the waste generated will be of two types mainly. That is the waste with high volume and with less pollution, and other one is the waste with less volume and high pollution. So the problem is only with the high pollution. That is the strength of the waste. So we have to find out the resources also it gets wasted along with this highly polluted wastewater. So we have to find out the other means how to reduce the strength of the wastewater, or in turn we can say how we can be able to get the useful products from this wastewater, or how we can minimize the extent of pollution in the wastewater. So the strength of this wastewater it can be reduced by the following any one of these methods. So first one is by doing process change. Second one is equipment modification, segregation of waste, equalization of waste, byproduct recovery, proportioning waste, and monitoring the waste streams. So let's see one by one. Process change. What does it mean by process change? So in case of process change, we are not going to change the entire process. Instead, what we are going to do is we are going to make small changes in the either in the raw material or the chemicals or the catalyst, any of the washing mechanisms or treating mechanisms, so that the waste what is being discharged from this industries will be having less pollutant. For example, let's take the tanning industry. As we know that tanning industry, leather is being manufactured from the animal hides, that is animal skin, through a series of process. So in this case, we can replace the lime and sulfides which will be constituting to the higher organic loading. So we can replace this with amines and enzymes so that the rate of pollution in the wastewater will be get reduced. Similarly, in textile industry, earlier they were used to starch, to give the strength to that of your fabric. So nowadays it is being substituted with cellulosic compounds like carboxymethyl cellulose. Why? Because this starch is it is been giving off a larger amount of organic matter. That is the BOD of the wastewater will be high when we use starch as that of your processing chemicals in textile industry. So when we see this carboxyl methyl cellulose is used, nearly 50% of the BOD reduction has been able to find out compared to that of your starch. So this is the other process change. For example, in metal plating industries, we could make nearly 7 changes which could reduce pollution load to a large extent. So the first one is instead of copper cyanide plating solution, we can go with acid copper solution so that the cyanide what is being discharged into the wastewater will be get reduced. Similarly, instead of using copper cyanide strike for copper plating bath, we can go with nickel strike. And we can even substitute the carbonitrating furnace for a molten cyanide bath. That could also be done. And we can use H2SO4. Instead of H2SO4, we can use a short blast in the pickling of steel. As we know what is pickling means, it is a process in the steel manufacturing where the salts will be, or the impurities will be get deposited on the surface of the iron or steel. So in that case, we have to remove these impurities. So for this, we will immerse this iron or steel in the bath, which is having acids. It may be either sulfuric acid or hydrochloric acid. So earlier it was advised to use the sulfuric acid, but later it could found out that this will be constituting high amount of waste. So nowadays we are using with a short blast. So but just by small changes in the mechanism or with that of your raw material or with it of your chemicals, we could see a greater extent of reduction of pollution in the outcoming wastewater. And similarly, instead of H2S44, that is your sulfuric acid for pickling, we can go for phosphoric acid also, that is your H3PO4. So that is also a real good alternate, okay, which will be reducing the strength of the lower wastewater. And similarly, we can use some alkaline de-resters instead of acid solutions. Usually in metal plating industry, there are chances of getting rusting. So earlier we used acid solution to remove the resters. Nowadays it's proved that alkaline de-resters is far better than that of your acid solutions, and it's not posing much of the pollution problem also. So that could also be done. And similarly, we can replace the soluble oils with the cold cleaners. So that also provides some good reduction in the strength of the waste. So this is how the small changes in the process could make a big difference in the wastewater in terms of pollution rate. Similarly, the second strength reduction mechanism is by using equipment modification. But what is the real problem with it is, as an environmental engineer, we always concern with it of the environmental quality. That is, the wastewater should not affect any of the environment, or the waste that is disposed of from the industry. It should not affect any of them. Natural environment. It may be a land or water, or maybe the soil, whatever may be that. But as a chemical engineer in an industry, his main concern is only to see how this manufacturing process will be effective, and what for the best efficiency can be given in the production. So in that case, we will be having a controversy between the environmental engineer as well as chemical engineer when we go with the equipment modifications. And more probably, the industrial management also will not easily go with equipment modifications. Why? Because already they have insisted, they have applied a huge amount of waste for this production, all this buying equipments, all those things. So in that case, after a period of time, if you go for suggesting equipment modification just for the sake of reducing the strength of the waste, no industry will come forward to take up this, to invest more money for just making to reduce the wastewater. So in this case, what we can do is, instead of making them big equipment changes, that is equipment changes at a higher cost, we can make small modifications which will turn out to a good result in that of your strength parameter. See, for example, you can say in dairy industry, earlier the cans what is used to collect that dairy milk, as well as to dispose it off, what is that is, it could hold some milk in the can itself. So what's that is, a small change is made in the neck of this can, so that all the water is get tripped off into the dairy industries, okay, dairy industry tanks. So just by changing the shape of the milk cans, or just by changing the milk holding tanks, we could be able to see a large amount of pollution load is being reduced. Why? Because this is the main area where the dairy industry is having high organic pollutant. So once if it is being get reduced, it is that all the milk is being drained from the cans, automatically there is not much milk is going to come out from just cleaning of your cans, okay, since all the milk is already been drained out. So this will be changing the higher, it will reduce the higher amount of your strength in terms of your pollution. Similarly, in case of your pickle industry, just by placing a screen over the drains, it will be able to take up all the seeds like cucumber seeds, or what are the seeds what is used in the pickle manufacturing. So all will be get drained. So eventually only the wastewater will be get drained off, okay, while all other impurities will be get screened off. So this will be reducing once again the organic pollutant. Why? Because this organic seeds, all those things can be easily decomposed, or it can be get treated by some other ways. And similarly, in tanning industry also, we can we can place a trap over the discharge pipeline, so that the hairs and fleshes of these animals will be get easily trapped off, while only the clear water will be changed to that of the discharge pipeline. Similarly, in case of dairy industry, not only with that of the drip pans, even the holding tanks also, we can make some small changes in the shape, so that none of the milk will be get it will be there in the can or in the holding tank. So that small changes will be made. So that will be reducing the amount of milk that has been let off as discharge. So here we can do installation of drip pans in assembly lines to collect milk that drains from the cans. So that could be done. So these are all the things which could reduces the strength, as well as even it will reduces the quantity of waste that is being disposed of. And the other method of reduction of your strength is by segregation of waste. So already we told that we could segregate the waste by two means, that is by high volume as well as low volume, or we can say as a high pollutant as well as a less pollutant. So we can say also like this: strong waste in small volumes and weaker waste in larger volumes. So such small segregation, if you are able to do it, only the strong waste in small volume has to be given the particular treatment. Otherwise, the weaker waste, it doesn't require the extensive treatment technologies. Okay, so this could be, you could see here in textile industry. See, in textile industry, caring is a process where all the cloth will be, the fabric that is manufactured, it will be get subjected to boiling along with the addition of chemicals. So here is, that is this is the main process where the total amount of pollutant is going to come from the textile industry, except the dyeing units. Okay, so here if we are able to segregate only the caring wastewater, we could be able to see that the rest of the water could be easily been disposed of or treated. Only this caring industry, it requires some caring waste, it requires some special treatment. Similarly, in metal plating industry, the metal plating solutions alone we have to segregate it, so that what happens is we will be able to get useful metals, we can able to recover the useful metals from this, while the rest of the waste is not going to contribute to too much of this pollution load. Similarly, we can segregate the processing water and cleaning water. Why? Because this cleaning water does not have much pollutant, while the processing water will be having high pollutant, which has to be get treated. Okay, and this segregation is also being done by removing only one particular waste from the rest of that. That could also be easily done. Okay, so these examples we have already seen. One is the segregation of liquid carrying waste in textile mill, and other one is in metal industry. We can segregate only the chromium and cyanide waste. So this is an example for removal of one particular waste from the rest. Why? Because the cyanide waste, actually the treatment for the cyanide waste is it has to be first alkaline, then it is oxidized. But it is not in the case of chromium, it is just the reverse. So it has to be get acidified and reduced. So when you go for this two waste in a single treatment, it is very difficult to tackle. While because it will be resulting in the evaluation of harmful hydrogen cyanide gas, okay, that is toxic and it will get burst out. So for this case, a simple treatment is we are going to segregate the waste and we are going to separately treat it off. That is, cyanide waste will be get oxidized along with after it is alkalined, and chromium waste will be get reduced after it is acidified. So just by segregating this waste and giving a proper treatment for those particular waste, we will be able to minimize the cost of treatment, as well as will minimize the pollution load. Not only that, we will also minimize the harmful materials that been evolved or that been reacted and formed, and which will be get discharged into this wastewater. So that could also be easily reduced. The other method of strength reduction is by equalization of waste. So as we know that what is equalization of waste, normally there are industries which is not operated continuously. That is, the operation is done once in 8 hours or once in 12 hours in a particular industry. For example, sugar industry, dairy industry, all those things, because these are all intermittently operated industries and they are not continuously operated. So in this case, what happens is the wastewater that is coming from this industry will be released only at a particular period of time, that we used to say as a slug discharge. So what we have to do this is, if only the particular period of time, if we are sending to the biological treatment facilities or any other treatment facilities, and the rest of the time this treatment is not been done, in that case, normally in case of your biological treatment facilities, bacteria is a main organism which is going to do the decomposition process. Okay, Okay, so what happens only if the specific period of time, if this food is allowed for this bacteria, so the rest of the time it is in starvation. So what happens is bacteria will eventually die. So when the next day when the water comes, when the wastewater comes, there will not be any bacteria to process it up. Ultimately, the efficiency of the treatment will be get reduced. So what we could do for this is we should have a equalization tank. So where we will hold the waste for a particular period of time, say once in 12 hours or once in 8 hours, we hold it up, and after we get a sufficient quantity of wastewater, so that the flow as well as the certain parameters in the wastewater will be get equalized. Not all the parameters like pH, BOD, all those things will be get equalized. And once after it is equalized, we can send it to that of the next treatment process, so that there will not be sudden discharge of wastewater into that of your biological treatment facilities. So that will be reducing the shock loading of the biological treatment facilities, as well as it will also reduce the strength of the waste. Just by mere holding, we could get the equalization of the waste. So the strength of the waste will also be get more or less uniform. So this diagram pictures how it is the effluent is getting stable in terms of pH after a specific period of equalization in a tank. The other method to reduce your strength reduction is by byproduct recovery. That is, the waste will be turned into useful products. Okay, that is why we called it as byproduct recovery. So we can have as many researchers, so that we will be able to find out what are the useful products from the waste. Example, in tannery industry, the chromium what is used in the manufacturing process, it can be easily recovered just by precipitating with magnesium hydroxide. Okay, so the small changes will be able to get back the chromium, which will be utilized once again in the process itself. And the main thing is it reduces the cost of the chromium also. And apart from this chromium is not being disposed of as a waste to that, and it will not affect any of the environment. Okay, so this is a small byproduct recovery process. Similarly, in metal plating industry, we can use ion exchanges, so that we could be able to recover phosphoric acid, copper, nickel, chromium, or any other things which is used for plating solutions. Okay, so this we would be able to recover the costlier products, and we can be able to reuse it in the industry itself, as well as it will also reduce the strength of the waste what is being disposed of. And similarly, we can use deionized water boiler feed requirements, or vacuum evaporation of plating solutions can be done. So in electrical industry, very specifically, we can recover valuable items like metals, silver, gold, all those things we can able to recover. And in case of sewage digestion, you'll be getting methane gas, so which can be used as, that is your biogas, which can be used for cooking and other purposes. And the digested sludge can be used as a fertilizer. It is a organic manure which could be able to utilized. And similarly, in case of sewage, we will be able to recover the grease just by cracking with it of the sulfuric acid and precipitating with alum as well as iron salts. These are the other examples. In distilleries, we can screen the slop and we can thicken it up, and that will be used as a cattle field. Similarly, the yeast what is being got from the distilleries will just evaporate all the waste waters, and the yeast what is being retained, it will be used as a cattle field. It is as a cattle feed. So similarly, in case of your paper industry, the sulfide waste what is coming from the paper industry, out of the sulfide waste, n number of products have been recovered. So nearly 238 or products they have been patented. So this includes your fuel, road binder, cattle fooder, briquetting, insulating compounds, fertilizer, boiler feed additives, flotation agents, production of alcohol, artificial vanillin, this etc. Okay, so from this you could be able to identify how the waste is being transformed into useful byproduct. And similarly, in packing houses, slaughterhouses, where we deal with it of the animal skins and bloods and fleshes, in that case also the blood is recovered and it is used as a binder in laminated wood, and it is also used in the manufacture of glue, and it is also sold as a waste grease to rendering plant. See, we could see ample number of usages for this waste products. Similarly, in case of dairy industry, we can get the skim milk to casein, and this casein is used in the manufacture of certain plastics. And apart from that, the dairy powders, all those things which has been get settled down in the clarifier, it will be get dried off and it is used as a cattle feed or chicken feed. And similarly, the very important thing is in sugar industry, once for all time, this molasses is a waste product. But now this molasses is an important raw material which is used for the manufacture of alcohol in distilleries, and it is highly customized also, so it is under excess duty also. So this molasses is a valuable byproduct which has been derived from the sugar industry. And similarly, from the canned stalks we will be able to get insulating wallboard. Similarly, the fly ash from the nuclear power industry which is used as a replacement of cement. So we have n number of examples where we could show that how the waste that is generated from the industry can be turned as a useful byproduct, and even it is a commerciable byproduct. The other thing is proportioning waste. This proportioning waste will also reduce the strength of your wastewater. So what is that is, when we discharge this wastewater or the effluent from the industry to that of the sewer or to that of the stream, we have to do it with the proportion along with the quantity as well as the quality of the wastewater that is in the sewage treatment plant, or with that of the quantity or quality of the water in that of the stream, so that it will not going to damage the sewage treatment plant or the of the sewer, your stream also. Okay, and especially very for toxic hazardous waste, we have to do this proportioning so that it will not have an adverse effect on the treatment plants. And very specifically, we have to monitor the waste streams. Why? Because streams are our natural resources, so we should not dispose this effluent into the streams, and we should not spoil the streams. Okay, so in that case, we have to monitor various parameters of the streams before we dispose of, or before we are giving this wastewater into the streams. Anyway, even if it is proportionate also, we have to study the stream quality standards. Okay, what is the current flow of whether current, what is the capacity of the stream, assimilative capacity of the stream, what is the current of this flowing water, what is the quantity as well as quality of this water in the stream, especially what is the dissolved oxygen content in the stream. Why? Because it is essential for the decomposition of the organic matter in the wastewater. So many parameters we have to study before we go for discharging that the effluent in the stream. Even if it is proportionate also, we have to do this. And we should have a remote sensing device by the operator, because it's not easy for every time for the operator to monitor what is the industrial effluent that has been discharged, because normally most of the industries will violate the norms, and they will discharge in excess of your quality on quantity, not as per that of your standards what is prescribed by the concerned authorities, or as per the standards what is given by the effluent standards or stream standards. So what happens is, we should have a remote sensing device to stop the effluent once if the quantity or the quality is not up to the limit, or we can reduce this so that a proportionate can be done. This is especially suitable for your sewers, where it is dealt with of your sewage treatment plant, because in rainy seasons in sewage treatment plant we will have an additional flow from the rainfall, but in case of dry seasons like summer, with the water quantity that of your sewage treatment plant is less, so in that case accordingly we can reduce the wastewater or the effluent that is coming from the industry in proportionate to that of the quantity or quality of your wastewater in your sewer line, or we can redirect the flow, so that could also be done. And the other ways to reduce strength reduction is by accidental spills. So this is one of the important parameter which will constitute the waste in the discharge of your wastewater. So what happens is we should find out what are the various ways to avoid this accidental spills. So what is it? We have to find out and we have to carefully monitor all the pipelines, and if there is any leaks or any other we can make some designated pipelines. We should be know only the we should allow only the knowledgeable persons to operate the walls. Otherwise, that will also lead to excess waste in the wastewater and the excess pollution in the wastewater. Similarly, here we should see that all the walls as well as pipelines or they are leak proof, and if there is anything, it has to be get properly rectified at a earlier stage, so that much of the waste, much of the chemicals or the substances is not being letted as waste, so which will be added as a strength to that of your wastewater. And we should install the indicators and warning system once if there is a leak, or if there is any spillage, accidental spillages in any pipelines or in any of the systems or equipments. We should have an indicator and warning system, so immediately that particular place will be get rectified, so that there will not be much discharge of this high pollution load into that of your waste. Okay, so that is, so these are all the various ways where we can reduce the strength of the wastewater. So just by adapting these two simple mechanisms, one is a volume reduction and strength reduction, we could expect a large amount of large change in the wastewater in terms of volume as well as strength, so that only particular waste which is essentially needed treatment will be get treated in the treatment plant, while the rest of the waste can be recycled or reused either in the industrial process or to that of the nearby industries as per the requirements. Okay, so this will be reducing not only the treatment cost, not only it will be reducing them, it will cause a benefit to the industries, but it will also leads to the benefit to our natural environment. Okay guys, thank you.